Dave Chappelle. Let's start. Oh, we got a little feedback.
Going as a boot now.
BroTalkLive.com. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry that we're a little tardy for the party, but unlike Kim Zolciak, we actually have substance and we have a reason for being late. So yeah, welcome to the show. This is the show for us, by us, but not only us as in race, us as in culture. This is the millennials, basically CNN, whatever you want to call it. But we just giving you the hottest news, the hottest takes, and we're going to kick it over to my main man, Dex. My name is Jay. Dex, what up, bro?
Dex the one here, reporting live for duty. Excited to be here. Great show planned for you guys today.
Swoop! Let's kick it over to my main man, Ty.
Ty the guy. Here, doing my thing. I'm actually super excited to be here today. Had a long day, and I'm glad to be with my bros.
Is this like your little release for the week?
Yeah, it's been a I feel like it's Friday, but it's only Tuesday, which is pretty shameful because it's been epic already.
Yeah, because it's not going to be Friday, so unfortunately we have no end in sight. Bill, what up, bro?
It's also been a long week for me, like a really, really long week, but I'm here.
Good. If any of you noticed, I didn't ask how your week was going. I just asked how you're doing. But I guess you got decided to answer anyway. But thank you.
Go, Jason.
All right, let's move on. Glad you guys are in today. Keisha Cole, we all know her for a number of things. And she's a Grammy nominated singer. What you looking like that for, Bill?
Because I was waiting for you to lie. Go ahead and lie.
She is also the originator of Keisha's Chicken and Waffle Palace outside the BET Awards every year. So we like to recognize her for that. But something else that she did have was at one point a musical career. And one of the songs that she had was called You Deserve It. And that is going to be the theme for our first set of topics here. So are you guys ready for the Keisha?
I need to protest. I don't want anything to be named after that wench. Not a thing. I don't want anything to be named after her. We have to find something. Let's use Mama D's I Deserve.
Oh,
okay. Switch it up. Mama D's I Deserve, formerly known as Keisha Cole's You Deserve It. Second. Moving on. Keisha Cole has nothing to do with our next topic, but nonetheless, she's in the news. One named Azealia Banks. One of our favorite people. My wife actually asked me the other day, she was like, why do you guys talk about Azealia Banks? And I actually had to come, clean and say, I really think that she's everywhere. So I just feel like we're covering the news. It's not like, let's say we're picking on her. It's just like she always conveniently places, her breaking situations in line with our show. So I just think it's only right, guys, to like cover what she's going through. No?
I think we just hate her.
Okay. Well, in any case, she made quite the news story, and I just want to know if she deserved the treatment that she got or not. So that's what the theme is here. Did the person deserve?
Absolutely.
We didn't even hear what happened. Okay, TMZ reports that Azealia Banks somehow made it into a party at Russell Crowe's house because she signed to RZA's record label. RZA, formerly of Wu-Tang Clan, signed Azealia Banks. He's also friends with Russell Crowe because they did a couple of movies together. So he brought her over to a party at Russell Crowe's crib, and this is where this all takes place. TMZ reports that Azealia Banks ended up laughing at Russell Crowe's song choices at the party, calling him and at least one other guest at the party boring white men. A female guest spoke up and defended Russell Crowe. And that's when Azealia Banks allegedly said, "You would love it if I broke my glass, stabbed you guys in the throat, and blood was squirted everywhere." Then she reportedly reached for her glass and cocked it back. At that point, a witness told TMZ that Russell Crowe got the rapper and what was described as a bear hug, walked her out of his suite, and called hotel security. Azealia Banks allegedly dropped M-bombs along the way, reported by TMZ. But that's not the story that Azealia Banks is saying has happened. This is what she said on her Facebook page. She said, "To recap my night, I went to a party at Russell Crowe's suite at which he called me a racial slur, choked me, threw me out, and spat at me. Last night was one of the hardest nights of sleep I've had in a long time. The men in the room allowed it to happen. I feel terrible today. I just feel so low and mishandled and alone and depressed right now. I wish I had someone to beat him up for me." Azealia, according to her publicist, is quote unquote tremendously distraught and disheartened. She is shell shocked and will speak out on the incident once she has time to process the brutality and abuse that she was unjustly subjected to. Guys, Azealia Banks deserved the treatment that she got in this alleged incident of getting kicked out of the hotel room based on the reports.
So is this what has her shell shocked, not that bullet hole that she's got on her rib cage? This is the incident that she's
Like
shell
a bullet
shocked?
shell shock? Is that what you're alluding to?
I don't believe her story.
This is interesting because remember the last time we talked about Azealia is when she bleached her skin.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying she bleached her skin because she wanted to be white, but she bleached her skin to be lighter for whatever reason. And you see, no matter how light your skin is or what you do, like if you're an African American, you're going to be treated like an African American. I think this is one of those moments where it just truly shows you that people look at you for what you are. You know what I mean? Like if you're a black person, you're a black person. You can't change that. And
the funny thing about this story is that RZA, who is Azealia Banks's, record label manager or whatever you want to call it, he signed to her label. I mean, she signed to his label. He hasn't come out and said either way whether or not Azealia is right or wrong. So if this was his artist, I feel like, and if she actually got treated badly, I feel like RZA would be someone who would say something about it. And yet he is silent on the whole issue as well.
Unless he felt like she overstepped her boundaries with the stuff about stabbing people with glasses and whatnot.
And of course, I mean, if someone said that at a party that I was at and she reached up and picked up a glass, I think I would bear hug her and walk her out of the room as well. I don't think that was.
I don't think that was a bad thing. Her story, if her story is true, that's a bad thing. However, I don't.
But not necessarily so. Not necessarily so. If her story is true, you picking up a glass and cocking it back at people like you finna stab them heightens my
after telling them, after warning them or
Right.
asking them, is that something that they wanted to happen?
You think I'm gonna let you pick up this glass and stab me? You already got bullet holes. You first of all, you shouldn't even be here, okay? You're at an A-list party. You're at the best. You're an F-list. Pseudo celeb. You're not even a real celeb. Like, please. You should have been blessed to be in a room. Shut your mouth and learn. See, people have to learn how to stay in their tax bracket. That's what this really boils down to. She should have stayed in her tax bracket.
So she shouldn't have been at the party in the first place.
No, she shouldn't have been. But because she was there, sometimes mistakes are made, and by happenstance, you just happen to wind up in a room with them. You should have just sat back and played it cool, not pick up a glass, call everybody in there boring white people, and threaten to stab them in the throat with a glass. You lucky that was all that happened. Because you in the party with me and you pick up a glass and you threaten to stab me, you ain't walking out the party.
I mean, I think they called her N-words and spit on her and threw her out. I don't think that's acceptable behavior.
I don't feel like RZA would have let that happen. RZA is a black man. I don't feel like, to his artist, I don't feel like he would have not done something.
I just don't think it happened. I think that she is trying to make them look bad because she feels salty, and she knows that there are tensions right now, and that she could try to play off these tensions, and people could be upset and automatically believe her story. I don't believe a word of her story. I believe that she was acting as she always does. They didn't tolerate it. They threw her out, and she felt salty, and she thought that somebody would step to her defense or do something, and they continued to party to their boring white people music, as she called it.
Dex, do you have any last words about Azealia?
No, I was just saying, like going forward, like if you felt uncomfortable with what they were playing and stuff like that, you should have just got up and left on your own. Like I never stay too long at a party or any event that I don't feel comfortable at. What
I will say is that we're not attacking Azealia because she's a woman and we're believing a man's word over a woman's word. That's not it. It's the fact of the matter that we've been through this for the last 3 years with Azealia Banks. We've reported all of the terrible decisions that she has made over the years. And with that knowledge, we have formed an opinion as to whether or not we think she is truthful or not. And we all agree that she deserved, I guess, to be put out of the room. Whether or not she was spat on or whatever like that, regardless, she deserved to be put out of that room for her actions. Yes? No? Maybe.
Yes.
That's fair.
Ty, yes?
No, that's fair.
All right. Moving on. Mary J. Blige, also known as Mother, is in the news.
To nobody, I heard her.
That's
To
it.
the R&B community, you watch your mouth. You sit back. All right.
Listen to
Let's not go too far.
Put your chin down. Put your chin down and pay reverence to the queen. Okay.
Come on, Queen of Scratchy Throat.
Stay respectful. Okay, back on July 28th, it was reported that she filed for divorce from her husband and manager, Kendu. A rep told TMZ that she's sad and say that it's true that she filed for divorce, saying sometimes things don't work out how we hope they would, but there is a divine plan and reason for everything. Mary will continue to write and do all her stuff that she's doing and all that jazz. And it was reported today that her husband has come back with a request of sorts that he wants $129,000 a month in spousal support. Kendi is saying that he needs that money because, she's been treating him to an exuberant lifestyle for the past 12 years. And that's a lifestyle that he is used to living and should maintain throughout, the rest of his life. He wants this to be the cover for his $8,000 private chef, a $3,200 personal trainer, as well as the $5,000 he gives to his parents per month. He also requested an additional $100,000 for legal costs. And get this, even though they signed a prenup back in 2003 before their wedding, he believes that the document that he signed is invalid because he did not have a lawyer present at the time of his signing. Guys, does Kendi deserve to have a part of, Mary J. Blige's fortune, $129,000 a month?
No.
He deserves to get a job is what he deserves.
Kendi needs to go manage somebody else. Isn't he a manager? Find your new artist and do some work.
Manage a time clock, punch in and out.
But he's saying, Kendi's point is that up until the divorce or, the filing of the divorce,
been a piece of shit husband.
he was still getting paid for his managerial duties, which he has since ceased to get because you were fired and you deserve to be fired more than likely. Dex, does Kendi deserve $129,000?
I mean, he flat out tells you like what he needs the money for. He needs the money for a chef, for a personal trainer, and for his
parents. Those are good reasons.
I think those. I mean, it depends on. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're good reasons, but they're reasons.
Spending $5,000 on a personal trainer, I'll tell you that.
Well, but at the end of the day, like these are things that she's done for him, and I kind of feel like like you should pay that stuff. Like I think it's not like he's making up these requests. Like with the thing with his parents. She was doing that. She was okay with that. Like, so if you're okay with doing that while we were married, I don't really see the issue why you
now your
automatically think that it's gonna stop. Like I can't just stop living this life that I've been living.
Exactly. That's a lifestyle change that you'll have to, and
So I think if she knew she wanted to divorce him, she should have been smarter about it and maybe like dial back a little bit. So that way, when she divorced him, like it could have been like, well, this is what you were used to, not X, Y, Z. So it's her fault, and I think she should pay it.
Oh wow. Bill,
I think that is the most ridiculous. I'm used to living this kind of like. Can I apply to my job and tell them I need spousal support? Like, give me
but if you
he needs to get himself a job, sign up for LA Fitness, and pay that $70 a month if he wants himself a personal trainer.
No, two points that I have with that one. One, and I'll speak for myself. When I moved out of my parents' house to go to college, like there was a certain lifestyle, I guess you could say, that I was accustomed to, and they continued to make sure I lived their lifestyle. They made sure I got a haircut every 2 weeks. They made sure my phone bill was paid. Those are things that they provided for me. Like they continue to provide for me. Mary has to continue to provide what she's already been providing with this man.
No,
and if the shoe was flipped the other way around, if it was flipped like no, there have been plenty of times where women get off and they get more money than this for spousal support, and nobody bats an eyelash. So,
no,
pay that man his money.
I never say that's right. I think that is foolish.
So you're going like full O.J. Simpson mode on this. Like it's just because of all the ones that were done wrong before that this one's valid now.
I didn't say they were wrong. I'm not saying they were wrong. I'm saying if you got the coins for if you cashing the checks and you taking care of them, why
even if she did give him spousal support, I think that much money is ridiculous. Like you don't need that much money a month.
He calculated what he was already using.
That's foolishness.
No,
like if y'all divorced,
that's why she divorced him. He was spending too much money and not earning enough money. That's why you got in the first place. Your piece of shit ass shouldn't have been spending that much money and not earning nothing. Like, what are you earning? What are you bringing in on your own?
He's managing her day-to-day operation.
You ain't manage shit. She had a career. Goodbye. No, time to go. He gonna have Mary back on them drugs, fooling around with him.
One thing I can tell you is that Mary's about to give us a fire album, and we
she is. You know, Heartbreak Mary is the best kind of Mary, even though
Come on.
I do not want Mother to be upset at all.
Battered Mary is the one.
No, we about to get crackhead Mary Banks. We about to get.
Oh my God. No.
You think she could be able to afford any type of crack after paying that man like a lifesaver like that?
Oh, God. I hate you. Billy Bush is also in the news this week.
Sick of him.
Do you guys know who Billy Bush is? If you guys don't know who Billy
we know
Bush
who he is.
I'll explain for the people who don't watch. He was formerly a host on Access Hollywood, which is kind of like an extra type show. Inside Edition is a little bit more serious, but of those three shows, Access Hollywood is probably the least rated of the three. But he's also a cousin of former President George W. Bush and nephew of George Herbert Walker Bush, which William's favorite president. Yeah, Billy Bush, he was on the Today Show. He got a new gig on the Today Show, hosting the 9 o'clock hour on the Today Show, and he was recently fired because he was the person on the tape with Donald Trump when he told people that he'd like to do what, Will?
He was grabbing pussies.
He never returned to the Today Show after a tape came out on October 7th.
Look how ugly Donald Trump is. Like, I wish every woman Donald Trump would grab my pussy. Like, I whoop his ass. Like, look at Donald Trump. He looks terrible.
Tyler, what he was doing?
Grabbing pussies.
Oh my God. So we just gonna leave out. So we just gonna leave our filters at work today, huh?
And Billy's
the president can say it. I mean, come on. Really?
Like, Billy is so fucking stupid. He's like, oh yeah, really? Dude, like, shut the hell up. I'm glad he's fired too with his stupid ass.
He apologized for his conduct the same day. This is a statement he released today, though. He said, I am deeply grateful for the conversations I've had with my daughters and for all of the support from family, friends, and colleagues. I look forward to what lies ahead. The exit announcement came on the same day that Melania Trump told CNN's Anderson Cooper that she believed that Billy Bush egged her husband on during the vulgar conversation in which she called boy talk. Guys, do you think
that's funny?
Do you think Billy Bush deserved to be fired?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. Sever. I keep telling people, like, sever ties. The minute you do something ridiculous, I don't care who you are, they're putting you out the pasture. Why are they going to go down with you? They're going to take you out in the yard and shoot you. Your career is done.
I've been through with him since Al Roker went off on him after the whole Ryan Lochte thing. He had to go then.
I was glad. When I saw him on that tape with Donald Trump, I was so pleased I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so glad.
You was glad it was him?
I was like, is that mother? I was so pleased. Couldn't be more thrilled. Dex, they have an opening. Go ahead and apply. I couldn't have been more thrilled. Dex is going down, sucker.
Dex.
Like I said, I found this stuff on the tape like disturbing. More so because I honestly agree with Melania. The part that got me the most wasn't Donald when he said like I'm grabbing or whatever. The part that killed me the most was when he said was when Billy when they got to the set and then there was like a girl there and Billy
he asked her for the kiss.
She looks good. And then he said, "Yeah, go ahead, Donald, get you a kiss." Like that, I didn't because it was almost kind of like, you know, like when you're younger and you have that perverted uncle that tells you to like do something extra to like a girl or something like that.
Turn around, girl. Let me see you.
Yeah, like
girl, you look like your mama.
That's what it looked like to me, and it's just like that was disturbing. And I also feel like it creates a culture, and like in organizations that's toxic, and like women shouldn't have to deal with that. And to be honest with you, other men shouldn't have to deal with that either. And like I feel like getting rid of him kind of sends a message to people like that's sexual harassment. It's not going to be tolerated. And you know, maybe in a couple years after you've redeemed yourself, you can apply again, or maybe you can mentor a young African American man who's trying to get into your position, and then maybe he can like work in the field. So like,
absolutely not, Dex.
I feel like this is a good thing for everything.
No, thank you. If you want to be mentored, you go get yourself a real mentor, not this has been from the 90s who's been pulling his face since Marla Maples left Donald Trump. You will not.
The last time I found like somewhat of a celebrity mentor, they turned out to be very similar to Billy Bush. So I'm really like not doing too well in this category here.
They try to grab your pussy too.
he grabbed everybody else's.
Come on, Cosby. Oh gosh.
Oh God. All right, let me stop. I apologize for the vulgarity. I'm finished.
So Dex, you don't think he should have been fired?
See,
Absolutely.
I'm on the edge. Like on one end, I'm like, yeah, like definitely should have been fired because what he said was like wrong and stuff like that, and it makes the network look bad. But in another thing, it's like if you know, that's like the three of us, or four of us sitting here, and we talk crap and stuff like that, and then somebody randomly sees what we talk about like in group chat or something like that, and like everybody else throws that one person under the bus. Like, no, you were part of this too, and you knew about that. Like, don't try to act like I was the only person that said it, that you were shocked and appalled, because you were not shocked. You knew what was going on.
All right, cool. Well said. All right, moving on. Last but not least, Cam Newton was caught. Actually, let's just rewind. You remember, like at the beginning of the season when we were talking about All Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, and all that stuff, and we told you that Cam Newton basically said All Lives Matter because race doesn't exist, racism doesn't exist anymore, and it's 2016, and we're bigger than all that. He's been losing ever since. The Carolina Panthers are 1-5. And they made the Super Bowl last year, so they were a decent team last year. They're now 1-5. They've lost 5 out of their 6 games this year. Just terrible. He's having an awful year. And this just came out from Baller Alert today. Apparently, he was caught creeping in DMs. By the way, Cam Newton has a fiance, and she's pregnant. So unfortunately, this is going to have an effect on her life as well, and their child's life potentially. But hopefully, they can, fix this on out. So this is he reached out to a girl, sent this to a girl. I don't know why he sent this picture to this woman.
He's very strange. Like, what is
Wait
that?
a minute. Wait a minute. Does he write like a 13-year-old on MySpace?
Yeah, and then he writes. Yeah, he writes.
What the fuck is that?
I hope they lose every game and then fire him as a quarterback. Especially for this handwriting. He needs to be on the unemployment line with Billy Bush. He has got to go.
He's done. I've been sick of him for a while. That terrible.
I didn't even go. I didn't even finish.
Then he has the nerve for.
Let me finish. Let me read
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He just started going on. This is what he had to say in the messages. He said, "You don't know how much." He said, "You don't." Yeah, I have it translated. I actually wrote it down. I had to break it down so I could read it back for the show. He said, "You don't know how much money I got or make. I'm broke, but where your mister at?" I guess she had told him that she's engaged. She said, "Contracts are public record, sir. It's not that hard." He responded with, "Oh, damn, I'm still broke. LOL. You answered 0 questions that were asked in the thread above, madam." And she said, "Because I make the rules, I make the questions. I'm the real MVP, blah, 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 blah." He said, "That's funny. I could tell you've been effing with some real sucker A guys, my killer, and that's fine." And he said, I just want to update you. You're messing with guys whose software is out of date." He said, "I can teach you a thing or two, but wondering where your outdated guy is that allows you to think that you're the MVP, blah, 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 blah." He just kept calling her, which was really strange, my killer, which I guess is a nickname that he gave her during this DMing session. So, guys, are you more disappointed that Cam Newton was caught cheating in the girl's DMs with a fiance and a baby on the way, or the fact that he writes like a 13-year-old?
That has to be significantly more effort to type like that, and that's why I'm confused.
It takes so
you have
much.
To hold the button and slide over and then let it go to get those. Like, you did that for every single letter. Like, that was significantly more effort. Like, why would you do that?
And then you have to actually review what it is you wrote to make sure it looks like what you wanted. Like, who is that? This is why you're losing games. See, here's the problem. At first, I thought it was that All Lives Matter curse. But you running around here like a 3-year-old.
And I don't want to look, people. I don't want to make it seem like this is like he can even have an app that just turns these letters into 13-year-old speak. I'm sure it's not just that, because if you look on the left at the very bottom, so difficult is one word with so spelled lowercase and difficult spelled uppercase, all with these strange letters. So there is no way that an app would just combine that. Like, that is very strange.
And can y'all please somebody tell me how long he's been sitting on this software out of date joke? Like, how long has he been waiting to use? Like, is that like the catch line he's using these days?
Dex, do you
Like,
Dex, do you appreciate at least the emojis that he used?
Look, I'm more concerned with the fact that this man is worth $45 million and he can't even get a date through a DM. So the rest of us
she
who are
definitely
worth
curved him too at the end.
dollars, like, what the hell are we supposed to do? And if you can't creep in a DM and you're worth $45 million and you can't get anything out of that, you people who are
You
single,
don't want
to
his
get
all
it
lives matter. Super Bowl losing,
this doesn't even count as creeping.
raggedy ass.
What did you say, Ta?
She don't want his all lives matter ass. Trust me. Good. See you later.
I mean, like, this doesn't even count as creeping. If somebody slid in your DMs writing like this,
And she let him slide right on by.
he lucky she ain't block him. I'd have blocked his tail and have reported him as spam.
I might even sit there and read that. I wouldn't sit there and read that. That's why, because that's like, who's gonna read that?
That's agitating to the eyes. Like, go away, Cam. Such a nuisance.
Goodbye,
Do you like yes or no? The Y is spelled back. Get up, get Cameron Newton. If you don't get.
Well, I think he deserves the 1-5 record and all the L's that he's been facing lately. So I think we can all agree that he deserves that. So that was the Keisha Cole "You Deserve It" segment for today. Did you guys like that?
Cameron definitely lost his juice, unfortunately.
The Mama D segment, I absolutely loved it.
All right, moving on. Time for Q&A.
Time for Q&A, where you all get to participate in our. I always feel like I'm doing an offering when I do this. You all get to participate. Where you ask your questions and we answer them to the best of our abilities with dignity and respect
that they deserve. Today's
categories, Jason, I like when you read them, so go ahead, go for it.
The first person, the first letter has a coworker as the person, the place is work, and the thing that they have a problem with is an attitude.
I definitely want to see that one.
The second one is nephews. The place is a purse, and the thing is money. Yeah. Thirdly, we have a fiance. The place is home, and the thing is a past occupation. I will say that is a pretty okay one. And the last one is a friend with a blog that tells lies.
Oh, I definitely want to do the coworker attitude one. Anybody else want to?
This friend and blog thing seems really interesting too.
I thought that one too. So let's do those two.
Okay,
sounds good.
Fuck my recommendation. Moving on.
Oh, what was your recommendation? I'm sorry.
Never mind. Go ahead.
No. What was your what was a good one?
Nah. If we have time for it, we'll go for it.
No. All right. So I'm a 20. Come on. Sorry. I'm a 20-something who has been working for a nonprofit less than a year. In my very small department, there is a large disparity in age between myself and most of my colleagues, save the one, Lisa. Lisa has been working for the organization for 5 years and is considered a star. She's just a few years older than I am. She is constantly praised for her helpfulness. Recently, I was given project work with her. Unfortunately, it has not been the learning experience I had hoped for. Small oversights are treated as if I am lacking in general common sense. She rolls her eyes and speaks to me in a patronizing manner. Finally, she came over to my desk, asked me to open up one of the documents I had been working on. I leaned over and proceeded to ask me condescending questions like, when you look at this, does something look wrong? She then made me play a game of try and find the mistake. Oh, wow. I was so upset by the tone and the manner in which she spoke to me, I had to fight back tears. Tears, girl. I know I come off as rather meek, but I'm not sure if this is why she takes liberties with me. I have a lot of work left to do with her, and I'm dreading it. It reminds me of being bullied in high school. Am I being overly sensitive? Should I talk to my boss? Should I address the issue with her directly? If so, how? I have the perfect answer for this, but you all please go first.
I think you should address it with her. Like, let her know, like, that's not okay. You don't need to talk to me like that. I actually have a somewhat of a similar issue. I just think you should talk to her. Like, I don't want to say too much. Yeah, I just think you should talk to her about it. Like, let her know that, like, I understand this. Like, I do have some issues with it. Could you just show me how to do it? And the way you're showing me how to do it, I understand that might be your way of doing things, but it doesn't work for me.
So you've had experiences with this before.
Similar, like very similar to it, where like I would send an email to a person, and they always seem to find a way to like nitpick with the email. Like there's always something wrong within the email to them, and it's just kind of like it gets to a point where you have to say something about it, because if you don't, you're constantly like kind of like walking on eggshells in a sense around them, or like you kind of avoid sending them things because you know they're gonna find an issue with it. So you have to talk to her. I don't think it's at a level where you need to talk to like your bosses or anything like that. But I think it's one of those things you should try to handle on your own before you feel like you need to escalate the situation.
You know what I would do instead of handling it with my bosses, I would ask her, "Are you my boss?" Because if you're not, why are you speaking to me?
I wouldn't give it to her in a confrontational way, because then people get defensive and you don't get your point across.
I don't care if they get defensive. My point can be said while they're defensive. It has nothing to do with the situation. My point is that if you're not my boss, why are you critiquing me? And if you can't, advance me further, it's not going to be by your critiques. But if you can't advance me further by grading me a certain way or paying me a certain amount of money, then I don't understand what your critique is for. I mean, if you're trying to make me better, you can make me better in different ways. But I think you should explain to her that if you don't take criticism in that way, everyone doesn't. So you just need to be upfront and tell her that, look, you can't talk to me like this. Like I'm a grown person too. I have a similar position as you or whatever like that. And that, we're equals, we're peers. You're not above me.
Good. William?
I had a similar incident happen at work.
Cool.
Huh?
I said, oh, cool. I like that you can relate personally.
However, I have never been the bullying type. Like, you can't bully me. I'm not going to be at work fighting back tears. And so when somebody tried
I understand the show has female viewers and everything, and I know that sometimes men are just a little brutish with our ego and stuff like that. I don't know if I know plenty of females who or women. Actually, I don't like saying the word female. I know plenty of women that would just put their foot down and cut somebody out if they dare try something like this. If they felt disrespected. So
yeah,
I don't think it's just a male thing necessarily. I think it's just a personality thing more so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you need to go talk to the boss. I think what you need to do is back up them tears and put your big girl draws on and let her know, listen, we do the same thing. Until you get paid to police me, don't.
Even then, though, like, even if it was a supervisor, like, you should.
Let me tell you something important about me, and then I suggest you take this advice. I absolutely never, ever leave anybody untold off. Like, I don't care who you are. I had a principal one time, and I was a teacher, and she was talking shit, and I told her about herself like nobody's business. And I tell anybody who needs to know about themselves. Let me tell you what you will not do.
You are in the accountability department.
You are not about to sit here and be condescending to me. I will tell you about yourself. I will stop you mid-condensation. I will stop you mid-condensation that this is what you will not do. Do you think you can find? I mean, let me tell you something. If you see a mistake pointed out, I do not have time for that. What is it that you need to know?
Exactly.
Like, I don't play that in any way, shape, or form. And you know what? And people say, well, that's not good for your career. My career has soared because everybody who knows me knows that I don't play that. Like, I am not about to sit here and listen to. I am not about to sit here. I don't get paid to put up with anybody's shit. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're my boss, if you're my supervisor. I don't care if we're coworkers. I don't care if we're lovers on the side. I don't give a damn what you are to me. I am not putting up with anybody's shit, especially not at work. It won't happen. I'm telling you right now, you need to tell her off, and you need to tell her off immediately. I don't know who you think you are. I don't care if everybody in the world loves her. I don't care if she has a shining light on her straight from heaven. I will tell her ass off the minute you start talking shit. I do not play that. I'm not here, absolutely not here to put up with anybody's shit. So I will let you know immediately. You will not be condescending to me. I will be the one condescending, if anything. And that's all.
Well,
in that order.
And that's my opinion. And my career is going very well. I do not play. I think you will not. You will
Nick,
not.
do you think Ty had an appropriate response?
Yeah, I think we were all. I think all four of us were like kind of in the same line of it, where it's just like, you know, don't allow somebody to disrespect you. Don't hold back tears. Just go ahead and just like talk to this woman about.
Let me tell you, I'm just like my legs are getting numb over the years. I've had to tell people off by just thinking about it. I'm getting like hype just thinking about all the people I've told off over the course of my career, and I've told off a lot of people. But you know what? Like now, I feel like I have an aura where I'll tell you off, and so
come on, they know you by your word.
I don't get it. I think the like word has spread. Like I've never been the one to be.
You know what? I haven't had really an issue with having to tell someone. Actually, I had one over the summer, but before that, I hadn't. It's been almost a year or so since I've had to kind of do that. So I feel like maybe the aura thing is actually spreading and word is getting out, and that's a good thing because then you live stress free.
Well, I want my aura to spread. I want y'all to spread some of that aura over here because consistently I am tried, and people just consistently think that I'm about to hold back tears, and I don't hold back tears.
I don't hold back tears. I don't hold back words. I'm tried and true.
Hold back a thing. I'm good for it.
I'm good for it.
You want to cash your check?
I'm the bank you need if you want to cash that check because the minute you try it, I'm telling you off and I'm paying in full. I'm letting you know immediately. Like, I won't even let you finish your sentence. I really won't. As soon as your tone is wrong, I won't even let you finish. People often say to me, wait, let me finish. No, I won't let you finish. You are finished. Now, I finished you off. You're done. You won't speak to me like that.
All right.
I'm not here for it.
He is still Question 2. Shit. Jesus.
All right. I'm back. Sorry.
Just a topic. Just the proposition of someone trying to.
I wish you would. It's funny to me because all right, I'm done. Here we go. During the rough times of my recent breakup, a lady friend of mine provided great support. We've been friends for many years. Never anything untold or whatever. She wasn't the reason for the divorce. Okay. We became even better friends. After the dust settled, I let her know that I was attracted to her and she'd like to take the relationship to the next level. She let me know kindly but unequivocally that she did not want to go there. I accepted that and was happy to continue being just friends. We continued to have dinner or go out to events, okay? Fast forward a few months and I've met a woman whom I care about deeply. New girlfriend is even happy to know that I have a woman as a best friend. However, suddenly my best friend stopped talking to me and ignored me at social gatherings. I was sad, but ready to move on. Now she is telling stories on her blog, which is read by many mutual friends, that I walked away from her because I was unhappy that she wouldn't be my girlfriend. Far from the truth, and included disparaging remarks about my new girlfriend. How do I respond to this? I mean, same advice as last time. I don't leave anybody untold off.
Not only do I not leave anybody untold off, my block ministry is so strong and the tearing down of strongholds.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why she can't just respond. Like, why can't he just respond? Not respond. Like, just ignore her.
Yes. If you ignore and block them people, it don't even exist no more. It only exists because you allow it to. Block them people. Yeah. Block everybody.
Amen.
Like, that's legit how you respond to this. You don't. Like, you tell your friends, like, that's not the situation. Invite her over here right now. Matter of fact, you can even have your friends over for whatever. Have an event where have them over, call her on speakerphone, and let her make a fool out of herself. Like, don't waste your time with this girl. Don't even waste time.
And that's it. Just block it. I mean, she has nothing to do with you. You have a new girlfriend. It doesn't matter if she's your friend or not. So I mean, what's the matter? I mean, you're not going to get with her.
And if you
can I put something right in there, please? Since people are like, because this just reminds me of like people being cyberbullied, which is like foolery. Y'all need to learn how to log off or block these people. My block list is longer than the Lamb's Book of Life. There's no reason you want to internet be bullied. If you don't block these people and log off, close the computer and go have a seat, ain't no reason you killing yourself. You thought, oh, they were bullying me online.
How long is your block ministry? How long is your block list? How long?
Longer than the Lamb's Book. longer than the list of people getting into heaven. My block list is.
But to be honest with you, like with this whole thing, like, oh, she's telling people that I walked away from her because like that really doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, if I see her and she has something to say, obviously I tell her off. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. I feel like it doesn't matter. Like I agree with Dex. Like I would just ignore her.
But let me finish this off though. Before you agree with me, let me finish this off.
I'm agreeing with you. You're so wise.
I think you should also be the bigger person in the situation. And I'm sure you have this girl's address. So be the bigger person and send her some bleach. And the straw.
Please drink.
All right. Last question. Let's just do this last one really quick. I thought it was interesting because we don't get this question a lot. So go ahead, Ty.
I have an odd question today. For a few years, I was an escort. I had at least 4 sugar daddies at one time. I did not sleep with them or do anything of a sexual nature. I was simply a companion, a travel and dinner date, and someone to confide in. Through this, I was able to get through school and purchase my own house with the money I made. My problem is, do I tell my fiance about my past, or should I tell him I just dated a wealthy man? I don't want him to think of me as a gold digger. You're getting married. Go ahead, William. I'm sorry.
The first thing you're going to do is tell me what website it is so I can find out if they got any sugar mama listings. The second thing you're going to
going on dates with a white women.
Listen, especially the ones that's on their way out.
Calling you boy.
The ones that's on their way out. Woo-wee.
They gonna
buy me a Ferrari and call me boy. Yes, ma'am. I got your lemonade.
Sit. They gonna say to sit, boy.
I'll sit right there. Remind them of the old days. Yes, here's your lemonade, ma'am.
Well, don't embarrass us. Do not embarrass us.
The second thing you're going to do, dear, is you're going to take this to your grave. Because
amen. You know what? I was about to say the same thing. Go ahead.
That ain't something you need to tell him, because then he gonna be like, oh well, and then he gonna get all ego and he don't make enough money. And no, you tell him, just tell him, oh, make up something, baby. Use your imagination, make up something, take it to your grave. You worked for somebody, you worked at the airport, you did something. Come up with something. Don't tell him what you actually did.
I think because we disagree so heavily, I don't think
you should tell him what. You should tell him what you were doing, which, I mean, if that's what you want to do to make your money, then I guess. But I think that you should.
Excuse her.
Dax, you can't talk about people's professions. Like, people have to make money.
First off, professions, let's not use that word too loosely. And I think that, like, it gets to a point where.
You think she paid her taxes?
I mean, you think she got taxed for that? So I think that, I mean, you could tell him. I mean, you should tell him, because he should know what kind of person he's dealing with. Like, I wouldn't want to be with a person who's done that in their past. Like, I would prefer not.
I mean, she said she did not have any sexual contact. It wasn't like anything.
Okay.
She was lending out her vagina, like she was getting grabbed by the vagina.
She was lending out her services to these people. That's what you want to do, then that's what you do. But I don't want to
went on dates. She went on dates with
But you know what, Jason? You know what I don't want? I don't want to be on a double date with my good friend Jason in LA with my wife, and one of her old sugar daddies come up and be like, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" And they have a whole conversation. I don't want that. That's
Why not? It's friendly. It's not like they're gonna be talking about having sex. She said
no, they won't talk about having sex, but they're talking about how she was a prostitute.
She didn't.
But she wasn't a prostitute. She had sex.
Look,
all she did was go to dinner, get paid for it, and had nice conversation with these men.
All I'm saying is,
let me be out in LA and let him, my girlfriend, and me and Jason sit down, and one of her former sugar daddies coming like, "Hey, you free tomorrow?" I'm gonna say, "She sure is."
That's terrible.
There are certain things
that I'll just not touch, but okay.
Like, there are certain things that you can't, like, you guys as a couple can choose not to discuss. But there are certain things that you need to know about each other before.
You think that's one of them? I don't think that's one of them.
And being an escort is absolutely something that he should know. And he should make the decision of whether or not he wants to be a part of that.
Why? Like, I wish I would have sex with anyone else. Why? I don't understand.
According to her.
She's again. I'm
going by what the letter says.
I want to know if I'm dating an escort, and if I am, I want to choose whether or not I want to date an escort.
Yes.
I don't care whether you had
You're
sex or
not
not.
dating an escort. You're dating a
I don't
former
care if you were keeping company. I don't care if you were giving hand jobs. I don't care what you were doing. I want to know if I'm going to be a part of that. I want to know.
Do you not see the parentheses in here that says, I did not sleep with him or do anything of a sexual nature? So no hand
There
jobs.
are
Come on.
people who.
What is your definition of a sexual nature, though?
Right,
Because
there
to
are
me,
people
holding
who-
hands or kissing could be a sexual nature. Sexting on the phone is a sexual nature. So, like, don't tell me you didn't do anything of a sexual nature. Let him know what you did. Go line by line of what you did. Because to be honest with you, if she really thought that this wasn't a problem, then she wouldn't be asking us. She would have already told him.
Honestly though, she should definitely tell him she was an escort. Like, let him decide. If I want to marry a former escort, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you. You might be a lovely person, but that's something that he should know before.
Now you might be a lovely person right now, but back then,
Well, I don't understand what the problem is going on dates with people. Whatever. If you have questions, brotalklive.com.
Getting paid for it. Going on dates and getting paid for it is the problem. Don't forget to
getting paid enough to buy a house. Like that's a lot.
And make it through school.
Yeah,
and you ain't doing, and you're not doing nothing. Girl,
we appreciate your questions each and every week. It is now time for.
I like how Jason's volume went over ours.
A segment that we call Madness. Last week we did Madness regarding best sitcom sidekicks. We terrible timing, like awful timing,
timing.
The very next day,
this is bad luck. We should probably skip this one.
Yeah, it's just terrible luck. I feel awful. But Tommy from Martin actually passed away the day after we did the show last week. That is why you didn't see a clip on Facebook about it, because that was the one I was going to use. But it was just like, I can't do this now because we actually voted him out the first round. It was by a coin flip, and I just felt awful for it. But we'll try a little bit better this week. Last week, Pam won the best black sidekicks of all time. This week, we are doing the best black TV mamas.
Oh, so, you killing off them? Oh no. I'm not participating.
We're not killing off mamas. But here's the list we got so far. All right, so here's the rankings. Claire Huxtable is the 1 seed from The Cosby Show. Florida Evans, the 2 seed.
Already dead, ain't she?
she is dead. From Good Times. Number 3, Vivian Banks, and I put the dark skin emoji there for dark skin Viv. That's the one I'm talking about here.
Okay.
For Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Number 4, Lisa Landry Sims from Sister Sister, who was the mom of Tia. Cookie Line from Empire is the 5th seed. Number 6 seed is Bo Johnson from Blackish. Nikki Parker, who was played by Monique in The Parkers, and Big Didi from Half and Half. Me and Ty.
I'm gonna have to go.
I love Big Didi.
Big Didi forever, right?
Yes.
But sadly, you know what that means. She's going up against Claire Huxtable, so we'll see how that goes. Some people who did not make the list: Harriet Banks Winslow from Family Matters, light-skinned Vivian Banks from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Rochelle, which was Tashina Arnold from Everyone Hates Chris, and Jay Johnson Kyle, the mother from My Wife and Kids.
I also liked her.
Yeah.
But here is the list. All right, guys. So here we go. First up, Big Didi versus Claire Huxtable. I don't think you can go out.
Claire, duh.
Yeah, I think it's
you
clear.
You can't pick Big Didi over Claire.
Yeah, why would you put Didi next to? Put Didi somewhere else.
You should have put Didi next to Cookie.
Sister.
The reason the rankings are the way that they are is because The Parkers was a way bigger show than Half and Half, and thusly Nikki Parker, who was the star of that show, had a way bigger role, and so she got the 7th seed instead of the 8th seed. Explanation done. So we're picking Claire Huxtable over Big Didi. I hate to see it too, but
Claire Huxtable, yeah, of course.
All right, Claire wins against Big Didi, even though Big Didi is a legendary character. If you have not seen the show Half and Half, make sure you go find it somehow. I don't know where you're going to find it at, but I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere. All right. Next we have Lisa Landry Sims versus Cookie Lyons from Empire.
I don't like
Lisa.
Mothers.
Lisa does. She didn't spend half her children's lives in jail. So that's an easy one.
I'll go with Lisa as well.
All right. So Lisa,
but didn't she give up the other one?
No,
she did.
They
no,
both
she did
adopted. She adopted them.
I'm not about to adopt no twins and no single mom, boy. Please.
Yeah, she adopted one and he adopted the other.
The other one. She wasn't an actual paternal mother either. All right. So next we have Florida Evans versus Nikki from the Parkers.
Can we skip both?
Yeah.
Florida Evans was a great mom. I'm voting for Florida.
Florida.
What you mean? She was broke as hell. She made sure there was food on the table every night.
Flo was it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Jackson
Florida.
when she got burnt by that iron.
Penny, when she got.
Actually, Malone
All
went
right.
to Peter Penny, but she was Malone's friend, so we'll go with Florida.
I
And
don't
last but
know,
not
though.
least,
But Monique encouraged her child to go to college. She even went to college with the child. Like she showed her child that if you really want a man,
But
like
then
you
she
gotta
turned around and
like
asked
work
Precious
hard.
where she was at.
what you say, Bill? Hold on, what you say?
School ain't gonna help none.
That's not fair.
She treated one daughter one way, but look how she treated Precious.
That's not
Encourage
fair.
that child to go on down into the welfare. What she say?
fair.
Each one reach one.
What that bitch say? Each one what? Each one.
What's a stipend? What?
You better take your ass down to the welfare. See how she treated one daughter, and the other daughter, she ain't told her to go to college. But what about your other daughter? You ain't want to mention her, huh?
Nikki Parker was not Precious's mom. But
Oh God! I'm in tears. I rest my case.
Used too good for the welfare. who we going?
Oh, Florida wins. I can't even. I'll never look at Nikki the same way again.
Dark skin Aunt Viv versus Jay from
Be real. Be real.
Come on.
right.
Tracy Ellis Ross's character wins this.
Dark skin Aunt Viv.
Definitely dark skin Aunt
She
Viv.
couldn't even stay on the damn show. What'd she do?
It wasn't
She
her
was
fault.
a
They got
great
rid of
Because
her.
they didn't want to pay her, and she should have got paid every cent that she asked
didn't
for.
do nothing.
She graduated from Juilliard.
Not the character. The character didn't do nothing.
The character was one of the greatest. Like she was really a great role model.
What she do? All her kids were crazy as hell. Like her daughter was materialistic. Her son had identity issues. Daughter, Lord knows what that girl was doing. Then she brought in Will. You can't even take care of the 3 damn kids you got now. You want to bring in another one? Then had the audacity to have a baby while she had kids in college. She was a terrible mother.
But guess what?
Dark
Little
skin Aunt
Ricky-
Viv
what-
wins.
What's his name? Little Ricky? What was his name?
Little
Nikki.
Nicky.
Nikki, there we are.
Guess what he
Nikki.
came out as? A darkie. So he is clearly her son, and they still had light skin Aunt Viv on there trying to cape for her. No, it is dark skin Aunt Viv for the win. They tried her, and she succeeded without them. So shout out to dark skin Aunt Viv.
Okay. I mean, y'all. I feel like it's close to Black History Month, so y'all are trying to give her this just to like have her.
I love
Dex,
dark
you don't kid.
But she ain't it.
Dex, really?
She ain't it.
Really?
Her biggest memory on the show is when she danced and told off those girls. That had nothing to do with her motherhood. This woman ain't do
Guess
nothing
what?
as a
Guess
mother.
what?
You
Guess
want to know
what?
what light skin
Now,
Viv?
because
You know what
she told
Viv's
them
most
girls
highlight
off.
was nothing.
Wait, because she told them girls off, none of her daughters got to walk around fighting back tears.
Right. She light skin Aunt Viv was worse. She like walked around.
I'm not
playing-
saying light skin Aunt Viv is better. I'm just saying like I don't think that role.
I will say
was
this
for the
though,
women.
Tracy
I
Ellis
think
Ross
Tracy Ellis
did
Ross's
nominated for an
character.
Emmy.
I did love Tracy Ellis Ross' character as well, but Aunt Viv is classic. I
Aunt
can't.
Viv is
Dark skin Aunt Viv.
Like legendary. Y'all couldn't even name the girl off of. Y'all couldn't even name Tracy Ellis Ross's character before I told y'all.
I knew
I watched the
I
show.
watched the show.
I watched the show.
Okay, cute. All right,
Jennifer Lewis is on there. Come on.
you know it. I like Blackish has actually gotten a lot better, but I digress.
Writing your speech.
All right, Claire versus Lisa from Sister Sister. Who are you going with?
Claire. It's gonna be Claire versus dark skin Aunt Viv. Like, put that together.
Are we voting for dark skin Aunt Viv over Florida Evans?
Yes.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dex.
Neither one of them ain't doing nothing if you ask me, but okay.
All right. Claire versus dark skin Aunt Viv for the win. All right, make your cases, guys, because when you think about it, dark skin Aunt Viv, not only was she a mother to Hillary, Ashley, and Carlton, but she was a mother to Will too. And several. She took in someone that wasn't her own child and parented them as well. Claire, she had her rut, the run of the mill. So who you going with? She also did take in Olivia though as well. So.
And her kids went to HBCUs. I'm going with Claire Huxtable.
Me too.
She had to deal with Bill's rapey ass,
But
Come on.
don't you do that?
That aside,
But her kids didn't graduate HBCUs, did they?
well, we don't know because the show got canceled. So
No, Lisa Bonet left. She left.
yeah, different world. She dropped out. So
She
yeah,
left the school. She dropped out.
wasn't she like pregnant?
Yeah, she got pregnant.
So Bill was
Pregnant before marriage?
Oh.
Okay, Miss Huxtable. Like,
But Denise got married in the show, if I'm not mistaken. It was the girl, the actress.
Mm-hmm.
But the character.
What was the character show? She was like a doctor too, right?
Claire was a doctor. Or no, she was.
Sandra was
She
a
was
doctor.
a lawyer.
Oh, Sandra.
She was a lawyer. So let's go with her.
Bill Cosby was a doctor.
And
Viv didn't even have no.
Viv
Viv didn't even have no job, and she was barely there to take care. She was barely there to take care of her kids.
Yeah,
She was a college
professor.
professor. Her kids
What are
ain't.
you talking about?
Well, she was a college professor, but her kids didn't go to her college. You lose. That's dumb.
All right, so who you going with? Aunt Viv or Claire? Give me
She's at community college.
Claire.
They went to community college.
Ty, who you going with?
I'm going with Claire. I'm done with that.
All right. Well, Claire wins.
I'm gonna go with Claire. No, I'm gonna go with Claire because she did teach those kids a lot of lessons, and she taught. Yeah, she was a good person.
Claire is the winner, best black TV mama. So so far, best black sitcom sidekick goes to Pam, and Claire Huxtable gets the best black TV mama. 2 black women win in the first 2 categories. We will continue to do this until I feel like stopping. But for now, it is time for Dex's BS Report.
All right. So we have a couple of really interesting stories today. So there is a new challenge that's going around. It's called the 100-layer challenge. What it is people are
got to do with dip. Y'all like that 7-layer dip that people be bringing to cookouts? It'd be so nasty sometimes.
With the beans and stuff. That's everything.
I like that salad on top of mayonnaise and beans and like tomatoes. It'd be so
What?
nasty.
I don't know about all that, but I've
never heard that before in my life.
Mayonnaise and beans.
It's got like mayonnaise and
beans.
like salad lettuce and cheese and sour cream.
Cheese, mayonnaise, and beans. What are you talking about?
I don't think we're talking about the same thing. But anyway, it's called a 100-layer challenge, and people are saying that you should not do this anymore. So what is happening is teens are putting on clothing, 100 layers of clothing. But what's happening is when they get halfway through it, they're not able to breathe because they're suffocating themselves under their clothing. So if you guys haven't already done the 100-layer challenge, it's probably not a good idea to start doing it now.
How many layers y'all think Precious can put up?
I'm not. According to CNN, there was
under which chin? Under which chin?
A police operator in Houston who was actually arrested because she was hanging up 911 calls. So people would call in and they would report their emergencies, and if she didn't think it was a good enough issue, like she would kind of hang up the phone. So like a woman was.
She needed her ass. Someone should have went up there and beat the hell out of her.
I know that's right.
A woman called in and was like,
screening these 911 calls.
A woman called in and reported that this had happened to her. So they went in and they asked Mrs. Krishanda Williams.
Krishanda.
You think they grabbed her by the back of her ponytail?
Why did you say that? So they asked Krishanda Williams, like, why did this happen? And then they looked and they said, like, a lot of her phone calls, over 300 phone calls, were only 20 seconds or less, which means she hung up on them. And they said, why did you do this? And she said, well, I just didn't feel like talking to anybody at the time. So that's why she hung up.
She needed to go be a phone operator for Comcast. That's what she needed to go work for.
Well, they hang up on me anyway. And then lastly, there was a man who was he was a hero. Like, so he saved the dog from a fire, and people were called this man like a hero, and they were like, he did so much for the neighborhood and everything. And then they found out that he was actually high on LSD, and the fire was imaginary, and there was no dog.
Real.
What?
And my final story of the day is last weekend there was a Tidal concert, and all the greats came out and performed. And during the concert, Beyonce
Wait. Dex, was the dog real?
No. The LSD was real though.
He went in there and grabbed the chair and brought it outside.
During the concert, Beyonce's weave ponytail got tangled
Hold up.
to her
No. What you won't do, hold up. What you will not do is insert that little bit of shade. I might have been laughing a few seconds ago. But
I swear, I work for Fox News throwing this stuff like that in there. Like, Beyonce's hair.
No, what kind of ponytail? Her ponytail.
Beyonce's weave ponytail. You see how
No,
it in there? Got tangled onto her ear, and Beyonce yanked the ponytail, which actually cut her ear. And she actually started to bleed like a true professional. She did continue the show. However, social media had a different reaction to it, and fans of Beyonce actually began to cut their ears off and hashtag it "Bleed for Beyonce." Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't done this trend already, please do not do it. Self-harm is definitely a problem, and we do not condone that. And that has been Dex's BS report for the week.
Beautiful. That was about the best one you ever did, Dex. That was a good
one.
Yeah,
time for seats. I was about to say something so rude, but never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I want to hear it now.
No, go ahead. I was about to say it's the first time we all paid attention through all the Dex's. I'm just playing, Dex. Go ahead.
It's now time for seats. However, I'm going to yield my seat in lieu of a friend of mine. We weren't really close, but a friend of mine passed away earlier this week. So I don't have a seat for this week. I'm just going to honor Thomas T.C. Clay for that's what'll be my seat. So if you all have seats, I definitely encourage you.
Nobody want to go after that. Hell,
I was like, wow, you should do that last.
I'm just trying to figure out, like
where do we go?
I do have a seat actually.
The goal is to get you all as somber as I am. That was the goal.
My seat actually goes to Nicki Minaj at the same title concert that they just had with Beyonce and her ponytail. Nicki Minaj went out on stage and she told the world, like, you men out here are weak. You guys don't want real women like her and Hillary Clinton and Michelle Obama. You want weak women like Melania. First of all, Nicki Minaj, out of all the women you just described, Michelle, Melania, and Hillary Clinton, you don't compare to none of them. You're not even a Melania. She proceeded to say this in a net dress with her butt out, her butt out, and proceeded to twerk it around as if like there's anything moving. Like, nigga, you have to have a seat. You really got to stay in your lane. Don't talk politics when your butt is full of cement.
Yeah, and then as soon as she was able to do that, Meek Mill actually had decided to put on Instagram a picture of what he thought about Nicki's comments, and he had this picture of his new bag, and he decided to post it.
Okay,
on Instagram.
Come through, niece.
And he with the caption, "If they only knew." So people started going off on him and stuff like that. But shout out to Meek Mill, who decided to go out on a limb and show that his style is more than impressive when it gets down to it.
Meek Mill needs to have a seat because he's making us look bad as a city. Like, he's making us look so bad. You need a seat, sir. I was rocking with you when you was a dirty young boy. You had them braids, and you were still Rameek. But, sir, niece.
My seat is going to Todd, do you have a seat? Because I think I might save mine for last.
Oh God. No, I'm good. Like, life has been ridiculous. Actually, I have so many people to seat, but the problem is because of privacy laws, I'm not allowed to seat these people. But these people definitely deserve seats. So, is there any way I can put seats in the atmosphere and let them sit without mentioning their name? Because this is like how
maybe you can mention the situation. Is it like?
No, the situation is the same. Right? So I'm just going to seat the people who need to be seated. And you know who you are. So I'm putting seats in the atmosphere. Jason, go ahead.
Put seats in the atmosphere. All right. Yep. My seat is going to go to people who I think I've had the seat before, but for people who always want to make you do things and complain about things not getting done when they're not the ones that's doing them. If stuff needs to get done and you're not the one that's reaching out or trying to do anything about it, I don't feel like you have a right to complain that no one else is volunteering to do it. For instance, if we have something to get done and there's no prep being going on or something like that, don't reach out to me and say, Jason, why wasn't this done? How about you just think about doing it yourself and then maybe someone else will join on and help you on it. So for all those people who just like to, heap a lot of jobs and authority and blame on other people without trying to do the thing first themselves, I would just like to give you a seat and let you know that it's unacceptable for your behavior. Amen.
Well said.
All right. I thought that was nice and ambiguous. If you guys have anything that you would like to do to support this show, feel free to like, subscribe, tell a friend, and also comment about the show. Subscribe to our new channel, Bro Talk Live, on YouTube, is what you're watching the show on. This has been another edition of Bro Talk Live, guys. Do you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything like that?
I just want to give like a really quick shout out to Shakim. I know like a lot of people watch, but like Shakim, I have to give you a shout out because like not only does she watch, but she posts on like social and stuff like that, but she's also like in my inbox, like the entire show. So like I really appreciate that feedback. So like shout out to you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
I really enjoy Shakim on the show. She keeps me entertained. I think if she was on camera, she might have won the best TV sidekick role last week. So I do want to shout you out for everything that you do for this show, Shakima, and I appreciate you. Moving on.
This is the person that you talked about on social media.
Never.
With the being pregnant? Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah.
I apologize for Jason's behavior. I appreciate your support of the show.
I love you, Shakima.
I too appreciate your support, even though you be like putting up that Judge Judy when we be late.
Not we, you.
Not me, because I'll be here before you. Get your life. But I really appreciate my track team because they're like in this group chat, like wearing me out as the show is going on, and my coworkers who watch and support, and all of my friends out there who are dealing with this loss. I'm praying for you all, and we knew TC was ready, so we all right.
All right. Bill, did you hear Ty Tribb's new song?
I was at the live recording, so of course I heard it. Okay. I heard it when he introduced it.
All right. Guys, we do support Ty Tribb, so if you like gospel music as well, be sure to make sure you tune in to BET every Sunday morning for Joyful.
Yes. And shout out to my friend James singing background on Joyful Noise. I see you, James.
Amen. All right. For Ty, for Dex, for Bill, this has been another edition of Bro Talk Live. My name is Jay. We will see you on Facebook. We out.